Stephano tried to intercept the retreating forces, but then of course the mothership was there to protect them. And I guess that's why you call it the mothership. It is the ship that oversees your forces. It is your mother, and it pulled everything back to the safety of the natural. So great play right there by Kiwikaki, an excellent snipe really. I'm just kind of showing you guys the first person player cams right now, but what an epic game this is. What an epic game. Alright, so a lot of gateways now coming down for Kiwikaki, trying to reinforce that gateway ball. You know, busting out that move, certainly pulling him ahead right now. And look at the Broodlord count. Oh my goodness, Stephano just morphing in 15 Broodlords right there. And that is the late game composition that Stephano is very comfortable with. He's going to have to use the Broodlords very well against the Colossus and Stalkers, at the same time using fungal growth as well. But if this happens again, now that the mothership has enough energy for another recall, that is going to hurt really bad. And really, Stephano can't do anything about it. If he tries to engage this army, it will be recalled out. And if he tries to run back, well, it will be recalled out. In fact, he may end up losing 2 hatcheries here. Kiwikaki being very bold. He is doing a lot of damage right now. Fungal growth going down on the Colossus. Will there be a mothership recall? The Broodlords spitting millions of Broodlings down, but the Broodlings unable to destroy anything. And once again, another recall. Brilliant save, great timing, and another hatchery sniped for Kiwikaki. That was insane. Now, just look at the resources count right now for both these players. It is getting pretty ginormous. They are starting their own little federal funding here for the entire country. Look at that. Kiwikaki at 5,000 minerals, 3,000 gas. Stephano at 3,000, 2,500. Pretty nasty. Now I think Stephano might be a little bit tired of the constant mothership harass. He's going to actually go in for an attack here, and he's going to try to destroy the gold nexus. A lot of broodlings here trying to destroy that photon cannon, but unable to do so. Now, that's a lot of broodlords, and Stephano has got to be careful with those broodlords. He cannot let them get vortex, nor can he get them get blunked under. Blunked, if that's a word. Massive fungal growth. Now, it doesn't look like the mothership has any energy, and a neural parasite on the mothership. The mothership doesn't have energy for anything, but it is cloaking the entire Zerg army now, and I don't know if there's any observer there, and as a result, a lot of the force is getting destroyed, but it looks like Kiwikaki with just barely enough stalkers, he's able to push him back. Kiwikaki with a brilliant hold there. He pushes the Zerg army back. Unbelievable hold. Those broodlords all clumped up. The nice thing there for Stephano, though, he was able to keep all of his broodlords alive. He didn't lose a single one, I don't think. So he kept the core of his army alive. But Kiwikaki also keeping his gold expansion alive as well. So just this game on the knife's edge, barely tittering or tottering either way. I don't know who's ahead right now. It's certainly very close. A lot of corruptors joining the field right now, along with infestors. Kiwikaki rebuilding his army, trying to get it back up to max. But this game is just blowing my mind right now at how late it has become. It's 30 minutes in, and neither player has really been able to secure an advantage yet, which you would expect at this point in the game for one player to be ahead, one player trying to play catch up. Now this is what Kiwikaki needs to do if he wants to get up ahead in this game. Once again, snipes another key hatchery, and I believe his mothership has enough energy for yet another recall. Stephano with his slow broodlords has to slowly work his way back across the middle of the map to defend against this, but unable to do so. And look at that, Kiwikaki snipes yet another hatchery. There's a stalker left behind there. Oh, help me, guys! Why didn't you save me? So Kiwikaki, the stern commander, but he kills off 2 hatcheries for almost no cost at all, except for the lonely stalker. Now Kiwikaki, oh man, big engagement once again. Stephano with a great engage on his corruptors. He's going to be able to kill off all the colossi once again. I don't know why he's falling back with the corruptors. He needs his broodlords to fight the stalkers and his corruptors to fight the colossi. At the same time, he's also maneuvered some roaches into the back of the 5th expansion, and the mothership has gone down. The mothership has gone down. This is an incredible engagement for Stephano. Stephano looks like he's going to come up huge here, but he has no more ground forces, and the stalkers are moving forward. They don't care about the spine crawlers. They don't care about the infestors. They're going to kill off every single broodlord, and in the meantime, this roach is still doing damage in the back of the mineral line. Now, infested Terrans coming out to provide a little bit of ground support, but all the broodlords counted. Every single broodlord has gone down. What a brilliant trade by both these players, but I think at the end of the day, Kiwikaki may have come out underneath because he lost a lot of probes, and in fact, there was a roach in the back of the 4th as well. This is one of the most insane games I have ever broadcasted. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually running out of breath right now. And I've run out of water to drink as well. I usually have a little water bottle next to my side filled with Sunny Delight, Red Bull, or water to keep me going, but I've run out, so Forgive me if at some point in this game I run out to my kitchen to grab something to drink. Oh no, it looks like this game may be over pretty soon though, because Stephano is pushing right into the heart of the Protoss base. And like I said before, Kiwikaki just so far behind now. You know, it's never a good situation when you've got this many forces up in your hometown. They are pillaging and plundering everything that the Protoss has, and Kiwikaki just kind of on his back foot. Oh no, he's going to lose some of his reinforcing stalkers too, and he's got to retreat those, and more Broodlords joining the forefront here, the foray. And look at the fleet beacon, it's unpowered, it's like curled up inside its own little shell. That is certainly a submissive building if I've ever seen one. So here we are, 5 Archons joining the field. That's what Kiwikaki needs. He needs to bust out a toilet bowl maneuver here. And if you guys are wondering what that is the use of on the mothership and the Archon toilet bowl. You mothership, you vortex everything into one conglomerated ball, and you send your Archons in there, into the ball with the Zerg units. And when everything comes out, the Zerg forces are all clumped up, and the Archons go psh, 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 and they destroy everything because they do splash damage. So that may be Kiwikaki's only hope. I don't know if he has another mothership or not, really. I think he was building another one. But right now it looks like Stephano just destroying everything. That's a lot of Archons. Wow, that's a ton of Archons. So, you know, Kiwikaki losing his third base, maybe losing his gold. In fact, he's already mined it out, so he doesn't care about that. But, you know, he hasn't lost anything core yet, if you think about it. He hasn't lost anything major, because he just lost the Nexuses that were already mined out anyways. So he's not out of the game yet. In fact, he's going to make a hold here. He's certainly behind, but he's going to make a hold here, and even though he's only at 38 harvesters, he's only got really 2 mining bases, so he's not desperately behind. He's still kind of in this game. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So Kiwikaki, great crisis management there. You know, when the Zerg forces were attacking him, he didn't go in and attack. He didn't try to defend at his worthless Nexi. He kind of warped in units at the outer extremities of his bases and just waited and just weathered the storm. And now he's back in, and he's got a big army, and he's actually pushing into the middle of the map. Now, this is dangerous for Kiwikaki because that's a lot of creep. You can get surrounded pretty quickly. Now, there is the Archon Vortex toilet bowl combination potentially here, so Stephano's going to have to be very careful about how he engages this. Unbelievable though by Kiwikaki to get right back into this game. He's at 165 supply, just at the heels really of the Zerg player. He's even left some Protoss forces back at his Nexus here, just in case of a drop. So very attentive to the detail of this game. This is a late game situation now. Zerg versus Protoss, late game, resources are all mining out, 36 minutes plus, and this isn't a situation that every pro gamer is well versed with. This is really interesting because now you get to see the strategy, the execution of strategy behind this, and who really is a smarter player. That's going to be the guy that comes out ahead. So here we are, a massive engagement, Nero Parasite on Archons, Corruptor's just barely enough destroying the last Colossi in the back, and the Broodlord's destroying everything, but the Vortex comes, excuse me, not Vortex, the Mothership Recall comes out, saving everything, save the Archons that were mind controlled. I think Stephano came out ahead in that engagement in many, many ways, and Kiwikaki really kind of an emergency warp out right there because he was in a very, very bad spot. A Dark Templar comes into the back here to try to destroy some stuff, but it will go down. But good engagement for Stephano coming back out ahead. But as I was saying, this really kind of displays who is the smarter player here. And the reason why I say that is because when it gets into this kind of late game situation, it doesn't really come down so much nearly to skill in terms of, you know, build order or just good, you know, reflexes and APM and all that. While it does play a part, I think the most reasons why a pro gamer wins in the late game, or any gamer wins in the late game, is because of strategy and intelligence. Where am I going to engage? How am I going to engage? Am I going to backstab here? Am I going to surround the army? Am I going to fall back? It really comes down to your mindset and how good of a general you really are. So not a lot of players get put in this kind of position, and this was really going to showcase just how talented StarCraft 2 players really are, especially these two. So it's really anybody's game to take. I feel like Kiwikaki may be just a little bit behind because Stephano does have just staggeringly dominant map control, but really any player can win right now. And just looking at these tabs right here, this is just insane how many resources these players have mined out. It's really down to just 2 bases left apiece. Kiwikaki mining out of the 8 and the 9 o'clock, Stephano mining out of a couple of bases at the top right. Stephano also coming in with a couple of Overlord drops here with roaches. So this is, as I said again, kind of playing into the mindset of the player. How do I eke out a victory here? All these little incremental advantages must be done. I have to kind of slowly build up myself and get these slow advantages in my favor before the big battle. And so we have Stephano now coming in. Now he's also going to move in with some roaches, I guess, to try to distract Kiwikaki. So he's actually doing like a triple drop right here, as he's got roaches barreling through the front of this expansion. He's got roaches coming from behind through the drop, and of course he's got some roaches, excuse me, some Zerglings coming in through these overlords. So pretty good at harass here from Stephano. In fact, it doesn't look like Kiwikaki doesn't know what to do. He may end up losing the Nexus. No, he will not. That Nexus will be saved. Zergling's coming in here, but great photon cannon placement, and it doesn't look like Kiwikaki is going to lose anything over there. And the Overlords come in to try to evac the roaches, but that was a bit unfortunate because they weren't able to evac anything. So actually, you know, Stephano with that drop didn't really do much. And that Protoss ball is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Archons, Colossi, Void Rays, and a mothership to boot as well. So this is pretty scary stuff. But Stephano is pretty powerful in his own right. Look how many Broodlords he's got, and Infestors, and Cracklings. He did research the Crack upgrade, which is the Adrenal Glands upgrade. And you guys might be wondering what is so important about that. The Adrenal Glands is one of the most quintessential upgrades for Zerg in the late game. You really have to get that plus melee attack speed bonus, because the Zerglings start to just do an obscene amount of damage. They're able to destroy things quite easily with that Crack upgrade, especially if you're maxed out. Speaking of upgrades, the Protoss army at 323, so even getting shields right now for those Archons, which is going to be really important. The Zerg army, I'm not entirely too sure. It looks like he's pretty close to max. Yeah, he's maxed right now, so he's at 3-3 himself. So both players are just kind of on a stalemate situation right now. We just have both of them not too eager to do that trade that needs to happen yet. They kind of just want to sit back and prepare themselves. I guess they're organizing their armies and, you know, getting everything set to go for that big battle. But certainly a little bit of fear in both players right now, because they know if any mistake happens in that big battle, it's over, it's done. So can't really fault them too much, but Stephano certainly trying to get his roaches to do as much damage as he possibly can here. He's got roaches just burrowed all over the place. And he's also building a lot of static defense in the middle of the map. You guys can see on the production tab, multiple spore crawlers and spine crawlers just kind of hitting the field, and that's going to help against this death ball in a big way if Kiwikaki decides to engage there. Now it looks like Kiwikaki is moving out here. He said, fine, I've had enough of this, I am going to move out, I'm going to try to make something happen. And at the same time, he's moving with the mothership into the bottom left-hand expansion. Is this a feign? This is a feign! Oh my god! He drags the entire Zerg army into the middle of the board, and then he warps his entire army down into the main, and now the Hive is certainly going to go down. I don't care how much HP a Hive has, you do not last against that big of a Protoss army. The Greater Spire goes as well. The spawning pool has fallen. The Hive has fallen. The infestation pit has gone down. Kiwikaki with a very extremely calculated maneuver. That was one of the most ingenious plays I've ever seen, and that's why he is such a good poker player. Now, he has not fallen back yet, even though he has the ability to recall at any point in time. He knows he can eke out a little bit more damage here if he chooses to fight, and he's done some good damage thus far. Now, will he recall? Will he recall? He's lasering more Zerglings and finally decides, okay, I've had enough of that, and he's going to pull out. But what an attack, and this is going to put back Stephano in major ways. He's lost his Hive. He's lost his spawning pool, he's lost his infestation pit, he's lost his roach horn. He needs to rebuild a spawning pool, and there it is, the spawning pool just coming down right now, just to rebuild a lair, just to rebuild the infestation pit, the roach horn, everything. So this is going to be a major setback for Stephano, and I would actually argue, if any time's the time, this is the time for Kiwikaki to make an attack happen when the Zerg player cannot reinforce. But Stephano, I guess he kind of realizes that he's in a bad position. He's going to try to kind of force the Protoss player to get defensive rather than offensive. So Stephano right now just kind of flirting with death. If he loses his forces here, he may just very well lose the game. So he's got to try to keep Kiwikaki on the back foot, but at the same time not lose anything. Massive fungal growth going down right now. Broodlords just doing so much damage. Neuroparasites launching on the Archons, and this is such a big engagement. I think Stephano has enough forces to clean this up. Look at the innumerable amount of broodlings on the ground, just wrecking everything apart. And Infestitarian's now joining the battlefield as well, but the Colossi in the background were able to stay alive. The Colossi fall back underneath the cloak of the mothership. In fact, everything was cloaked that entire time, and the mothership did not go down. Kiwikaki on the back foot, and I think, oh my god, the Nexus is gonna go down. Wow, great target fire on the Broodlings on the Nexus, and I think Stephano did exactly what he needed to do right there. Honestly, if that attack had happened on his turf, then he may have very well lost the game. But he made it happen on the Protoss turf, and that just buys him just barely enough time, I think, to get his layer down. And I'm sure he's got his Roach Warren down already because he made his hatchery and his spawning pool. So I think that trade, it kept Kiwikaki on the back foot, but just enough so that he didn't lose too many forces. He kept most of his Broodlords alive. So giving Stephano time to rebuild right now. He's also got a ton of spine crawlers and spore crawlers in the middle. Wow, that's brilliant. And now he's actually moving his entire army to intercept this Protoss Death Ball, because Kiwikaki looks like he's a little bloodthirsty right now. Is he going to do it? Oh my god, Kiwikaki's actually pulled his probes off of his army. He's actually gonna fight with his probes. Kiwikaki losing his Nexus. In fact, he has no more resources. Kiwikaki is distance mining right now to get money at this point in the game, and he doesn't have enough to build another Nexus. He's only got one major place to mine from, and he's just got too many probes. So he's just gonna leave some probes on mining and some probes for fighting. And really, you know, he doesn't need more than 25 probes because there's only one more expansion left to mine now. So really smart moves by Kiwikaki. He's gonna fight with his workers. He's distance mining just to eke out whatever last minor unit he can. And really, the one thing that Protoss players can definitely rely on in the late game is just Archons. Usually they have a major surplus in gas. And yeah, there's a distance mine action going on. So he's got he had a major surplus in gas, and that's why he's making so many Archons. And maybe we might just see that kind of Archon toilet bowl that I was telling you guys about earlier. But at this point, what an epic game. 50 minutes plus, and still no clear determination as to who's ahead. It's 130 supply to 125, but Stephano has a lot of banked resources. He can make a lot of units. I'm not sure why he isn't. So it's a very, very close game right now. He's maneuvering his Broodlords once again. He's looking to maybe pop off another Nexus, but the Nexus was never rebuilt. And he's actually maneuvering all of his spine crawlers here as well, anticipating the Protoss army to engage on the ground over there. No Nexus here. Broodlords say, okay, well, if there's no Nexus here, I don't really need to be here, so I'm going to just fall away and pull back. What a game, though. This is just an insane game right now. Both players are now straining for resources, and when you get into this kind of late game situation, it's just all about the money. Whatever last minerals or last gas you can get is really going to be able to give you that slight advantage to win the game. And I'm just kind of showing you guys some of the tabs right now. Look at the income tab. They're not making anything. They're essentially homeless people begging for change on the streets of San Francisco. That's what they are. Especially Kiwikaki. He's making 40 minerals per minute. I guess that's more than a homeless person. So, he is certainly in the lower tax bracket right now. Both these players in the lower tax bracket, but they have a lot of assets. So, oh my god, more probes being pulled off the line now. Kiwikaki realizing, hey, I've mined out all the minerals now. There's nothing left to mine. I might as well just pull out my probes to fight for me. And so he's got all of his probes in his army now. Now, that mothership has a lot of energy. I believe it has enough for a double vortex. And it's going to really come down to that vortex. Will he be able to vortex the main army and the Broodlords? Will he be able to get that the Archons inside the vortex to destroy the entire army? And for Stephano, it's going to come down to his Neuroparasite. He has to Neuroparasite that mothership and drain its energy. Now, it looks like the static defense is going to go down by Kiwikaki here. This is such a tense moment in this game. Neither player has any more resources. It's just going to come down to the battle here. And whoever comes out on top, whoever has the most army remaining, is going to win this game. It's going to be so close. They're both just teeter-tottering on the edge of battle here. But neither player wants to commit. They know it's such a tense situation. And who can really blame them? Honestly, at this point, they know one major mistake could cost them the entire game. Neither player is mining at this point. It's just going to come down to the all-in, and whoever has most units standing, like I said before. It looks like Kiwikaki realizing every static defense he picks off is going to be a major asset to him in this big battle. And here we are. Here's the big battle. It looks like Stephano goes in. No, he retreats. No, he goes in, and he mind controls the mothership, but he's unable to get the spells off. And the mothership reverting back, controlling to Kiwikaki. He vortexes everything on the ground, but the Broodlords are still up in the air. Can Kiwikaki get another vortex? He does! He gets another vortex, and now Kiwikaki just needs to put the Archons inside the vortex for the grand toilet bowl flush, and he gets 3 Archons inside, and now once the Broodlords come out, they're going to be all stacked up, and the Archons are going to flush that bowl down the drain, and those Broodlords are going down. This is an unbelievable display of skill from Kiwikaki. Kiwikaki is going to destroy everything. Kiwikaki destroys all the Broodlords and all the ground forces. Only 1 Broodlord left remaining, and there are 3 Stalkers on the ground. Stephano loses his last Broodlord, and that's it. That's it. Stephano has lost everything. Kiwikaki is still standing with his mothership, 6 Colossi, and even the probe still alive. Kiwikaki is going to win this game, ladies and gentlemen. Stephano calls it out. He calls the crats, and one of the most epic StarCraft 2 games I have ever witnessed has just unfolded before my eyes. That was insane. I am sweating right now. I am so hot. It is insane. I'm literally tired from this broadcast, and I don't usually get tired, but that was one of the most epic and insane and awesome Zerg versus Protoss I have ever seen. There it is, guys. Brought to you guys by IGN Pro League. Make sure to check them out. Also, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you guys get a chance. I'm not going to say much more about that, except that was just amazing. Please check out the next game. It's Game 3. There will be the conclusion between Kiwikaki and Stephano coming up. So that is it, guys. I'm pooped. I need a breather before this next one, so make sure you guys stay tuned. This is HD, signing out.